Well, you brought up something really interesting a minute ago where you said I used a cleaning chemical and it did a really great job. And I'm a
Yeah.
really big fan of using a cleaning chemical to do a specific job.
Yes.
And the question is this, and this is where I draw the line because it does come down to my health. And I've got the awareness for myself that there's only one version of me. And we do live in a technological age where we can have knees replaced and, valves replaced and whatever. But there's one version of me. And if I do my best job to keep track of my health right now, that's less I have to try to replace later on. But I'm very keenly aware that there are chemicals that are used for specific things. Am
Mhm.
I cleaning one of those things right now? And if the answer is no, I don't need a really strong chemical. I do not need to use it. Like you said, I could use a microfiber cloth to wipe things down and to keep it sanitary because microfiber does a great job of doing that. That said, there are times I will use a strong chemical because it is required. However, if I'm going to use a stronger chemical, it goes back to what you said about the personal protective equipment.
Yes.
I need to double up on my personal protective equipment. I need to make sure I've got my gloves on, that I have a face mask on, that I have clothing. And I usually wear a great big long apron, like one of those great big ones that the butchers use, just so that I can protect my clothing. Because in a minute, I'm going to take that off. And then I don't want my regular clothing to be covered in that. And I know that there's only so much of a barrier you can create.
Yeah.
But then I don't want to breathe that. And literally, when I climb inside a shower and I have to spray something, like you said, talking about mold, if I have to use a stronger chemical, I will jump in, I will hold my breath, and I
Yeah.
will jump in and spray as fast as I can. And then I will dip back out of the shower, like take another breath, hold my breath, and go in again and spray some more, just so that I'm not like, inhaling that and breathing that as I go. It's every single precaution you can make every step of the way. Because the reality is, after 30 years in the cleaning business, my health can only repair itself so many times. And every time
100%.
I'm face to face with all those cleaning chemicals, it can really take a toll on you. And I don't think
Absolutely.
just in terms of my organs, but like also my brain.
Oh, it's at all. It impacts the entire system. And you see, the thing is, and this is also another very important point, is that the cleaning products for cleaners is not the only toxic exposure that we are exposed to in our day to day. Unfortunately, our food is not as clean as it used to be. And the breathing air that we breathe outside is not as clean. So the thing about it is that we all have these extra exposures, right? These additional exposures of food, of water. There was a study that was published recently that showed that in unfiltered water, and most people unfortunately drink unfiltered water. In unfiltered water, there are almost 1,000 chemicals found present in unfiltered water, in a glass of unfiltered water, a glass. So anything from Prozac to the oral contraceptive pill is in there.
Well, when you stop to think about it, and here's what really caught my attention years ago, because I started drinking bottled water or
Mm.
filtered water. I had one of those filters that hooks up to your sink. But I started thinking, wait a second, I'm going inside people's homes and they've got hair dye that's splattered all over their tubs. And they're doing the do-it-yourself hair dye. Where's that hair dye going? I'm like, oh, it's going into the water system. And then I started thinking about like washing machines, like you pour a tap full of laundry soap inside your laundry. And then what happens? Well, it goes back into your processing systems. And granted, we have systems that try to filter all that stuff out, but there've got to be traces of that stuff that
Of
that
course.
that sneaks
Absolutely.
through.
And
So I'm thinking for all the chemicals and all of the hair dye and all of the stuff that people are washing down the drains, thinking, wow, that's really amazing that we would then try to turn around and use that as our good, clean water.
yeah, exactly. And hence why it's so vital to actually have a triple filter water system. Because you see, also, this is the other thing with plastic bottles. Plastics are the bane of hormonal existence.
Mhm.
Okay, balance of hormonal balance existence. Because anything that contains plastic, whether it's something like plastic wrap on food, plastic bottles for water, plastic containers for whatever, it has a massively impacting effect on hormonal balance, on endocrine glands. Okay. So what happens is that we need to really look at our whole lives and go, okay, how do I reduce these exposures? Because there is absolutely no chance that we can avoid all exposures. There just isn't. Like, those pans that are non-stick pans, All of those things, highly toxic. I'm part of a research group at Harvard that we look at exactly these forever chemicals. We look at these plastics and forever chemicals and bleaches and all of these types of things and the effects that they have on endocrine health. And, study after study is published with the same findings, that these things make a distinct difference in the way in which our body self-regulates. And the impacts that it has, that it actually disrupts that self-regulation. Hence why we end up with situations like reproductive disease, polycystic ovarian syndrome, fibroids, endometriosis, all of these types of things, prostate cancers, prostate imbalances, etc. And we can't avoid any of those things. So really what we need to do is we need to reduce all the other exposures that we can. So instead of drinking unfiltered water from the tap, get a water filter. That reduces your exposure. Instead of using non-stick pans, get stainless steel. So it's looking at where are the places that we actually have some influence and how do we behave and act and change in the best possible way to protect ourselves. Because like you said, there's only so much that the body can take in continual exposure before it goes, you know what, I'm out. That's it. I'm done.